Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible. It contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Bible to put together the book of Zion. And by put together, I mean literally put it together. The book of Zion is written entirely in Bible verse. And I use the King James Version of the Bible to write it. Now, that book that I wrote, that I put together from Bible verse, led me to the realization of who God truly is. God is great. And eventually that led me to contact with them. And they have taught me many, many things. One of which is the subject of today's episode. Now, yesterday, in my last episode, I talked about the war on drugs and how the Gray, God, used the war on drugs to create a priesthood for themselves out of the drug users. Today, I'm going to explain to you how we're going to fix this society as lowly drug users. Now, in prior episodes, I have explained one of the major problems with this society, and that's money. Today, the other problem is what I'm going to solve, and that is government. Now, the governments of this world pretty much are either authoritarian, where they take over and do whatever the fuck they want without regards to anybody, or they are democratic, which is nothing more than a popularity contest for the rich, based on money. And that's no way to govern people. So, I'm going to introduce you to a new form of government today. I don't have a name for it, so you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to let the people of Zion decide. It is, okay, it is a form of kingdom. The leaders of the country is a pair, a man and a woman, the king and queen, equal in authority. They arbitrate anything that the government can't solve. That's their job, and they work with other outside entities. So, they're not the true governing body. That belongs to the Board of Elders. Now, the Board of Elders represents the most important aspects of society, those things that are necessary. And they are such things as infrastructure, science, um, different departments like education or health or childcare, elderly. These necessary representatives of the citizenry and the needs of society are based on this chair. And we will figure out for ourselves what chairs we're going to end up with, because they come from the lower structure of society, which is the guild system. The guild system is subsidiary to the chairs, and each guild is a representative, is the functioning government of a particular need of society. Say, the entertainment field would have its own chair, and that chair would have guilds with chairs, and that those chairs would be filled by qualified people who have been trained to govern their entire careers. No person who has a chair will ever be unqualified for that chair. Because there is a process that they will go through the course of their entire career in order to gain entry to that level of government. In other words, Trump would never, ever be considered for any form of government because he's not qualified. And neither are any of these other stupid people that we have in Congress. They're only qualified to lace their pockets with your fucking money for the corporations. Because this is corporate America. But enough of that. My guild system. When we set up the Nation of Zion, we will create a loose system of guilds. We will have, proto chairs and guilds associated with them. Now, the children will have their own guild. Everything associated with the child's welfare will be governed by that guild. And every aspect of that child's life will be protected by that guild. Okay? Everything in the education system will be geared not towards the age of the child, because that's stupid, but to the intellect of the child and to the talents of the child and to the future needs of the child's life. Every child will be periodically tested for skills and for advancement into a guild. Because by the time they graduate through the school system, they will be apprentices in their guilds. They will have a guaranteed job from the time they start breathing all the way through. Because they will be educated in general things like reading, writing, and arithmetic. But then their individual talents and strengths will be nurtured as they grow. Things that they can't deal with, that aren't interested in them, that they just don't get, like me, math, don't get along. So, I wouldn't take a whole lot of math classes, but I'm a very talented writer, so I would go into that avenue. So, every child will be groomed to be the best talented person they could be. And they will all gain entry into their chosen guild. If they qualified for the guild, and if the guild accepts them, they have room. But they will also have been taught alternative things for other guilds. So, by the time they graduate from high school, they'll be ready probably for at least 3 guilds. And the guild that accepts them will further train them in their chosen field. And if that child wants to someday be a seat in government, then they will have already dreamt that as a child. They will be groomed for that all the way through. And they will have certain things that they must learn on the way. So they'll have to master their primary guild, and then they will have to master each of the guilds associated with the chair that they're going to be governing. So that by the time they reach age 50, they will have been trained to take that chair that they want. And they will be guaranteed a chair. It might not be the biggest chair in their guild, in the seat of their choice, but they will be guaranteed a seat, a place in government, because they've been trained to. They have mastered every skill they need along the way to qualify for that fucking chair. Everybody will have a job, because every guild will have a member. Every person will belong to a guild, and each guild will decide the job that they do based on their talents, abilities, and on their motivation. In Zion, everybody works. Because if nobody works, nothing gets done. But if everybody works, Nobody has to kill themselves working. Unless they want to. So, each individual in Zion will be required by law, by citizenship, to work for a guild, to work the hours they are required to work by that guild in the profession that guild puts in it. Guaranteed work. No bones. No lazy people. No welfare system. The entire guild system is the welfare system. You work, you eat. You don't work, you don't eat. Unless, of course, you're disabled or you're elderly and you deserve to not have to work. But these people require someone to work for them. If you're disabled and can't do things for yourself, then you provide somebody from the healthcare guild with a job to take care of you. That's their job. That's what they do. They're trained for it. They've chosen it for their profession. And they're going to be the best at it. There will not be a single person in Zion who does not have adequate health care. Because you work, you get health care. And guess what? My health care guild members will make house calls. Because no person who is sick should be sequestered in a place with other sick people. That's fucking stupid. The only thing that does is make money for the fucking doctors. So, in Zion, you don't call in sick. You call the healthcare guild, they come over and they fix your sick. Then you go fucking go to work. Or they call your work and say, hey, look, man, so-and-so is out. By doctor's authority, they stay home for 5 days. That's how it works in Zion. Nobody calls in sick. Unless they are. No, nobody calls in sick. Because if you're sick, you call the health guild, and the health guild comes over and takes care of you because that's their job. That's how it works. Nobody will make up an excuse to not go to work in Zion. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. And if you don't eat, you're fucking out the gate. And you don't come back. And once the doors are closed, well, somebody's got to shovel shit. So if you refuse to work inside the mountain, you're shoveling shit. And those people will be sequestered. You don't work, you don't eat. You're sick, you call the health guild. In Zion, there's no free ride. But in Zion, nobody suffers. Unless they want to. So, instead of having the guy with the most money to spend on commercials, or the biggest bullshit line, wins and decides everything for everybody else, well, you see where that got us, didn't you? And if you're a Trumpite, if you believe in Trump, well, then you deserve what you're going to get. But the rest of us, well, I've been taught a better way. So how would you like to form a guild? Or 50 or 60 of them, I don't know how many it's going to take. But we can do this. We can take the temple complex structure that I talked about in a former episode, and we can add the guilds to that, so that you can create your own guilds within your temple complex structure, and therefore set up Zion in your local neighborhood. So, that's how it began. Until next time, may the Great watch over you, guide you, protect you, keep you from all harm, and teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Be the joy people. Spread the joy. Make the world a place of joy once again. So, If you get high, stay happy and high. Know I love you. See you later, because I'll never say goodbye.